Welcome to the Dragon's Tome, issue 74 of this wonderful magazine. This is episode 74, coincidentally. And my name's Rob.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Chopper.
And we're here to talk about this issue of the Dragon magazine. $3 still. It is June 1983. Good times, summertime. And this is a dragon on the cover, coincidentally, by Jim Holloway. People,
Yes,
do you have
I
something
like
to
this
say
cover.
about this cover?
I'm going to say if you're going to be wielding some kind of mace, you better be good at it because all of a sudden it's turned into a leash.
It's a flail.
A morning star.
Flail, mace, whatever you want to call it.
Maces don't have a chain. How
I
dare
know.
you?
A cat o' nine tails.
He misspoke and we jumped on him. We taught him a lesson.
Hmm.
Don't you dare speak again.
Getting adversarial.
All I
on
know
this
is that
podcast.
guy is going to be taught a lesson too about letting go of your weapon.
He's going to slam into that pole pretty soon. Are these guys
No,
dwarves? Well, some of them are dwarves, you think? That one guy down there looks like a
I
dwarf.
think one guy's a dwarf. Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what was going on with that guy because he looks like he's growing out of the other guy's groin.
I think he's falling over.
I think he is too, but I'm not sure.
I think they were.
That's his
standing there and
axe.
all of a sudden-
That's his axe holding him up, and then the other guy's kind of behind him, but the other guy has no lower body, so that confused me. But it's a bunch of guys attacking a dragon. It's a good-looking dragon. I like the angle because the dragon looks like he's menacing.
I do like the action. It actually conveys a sense of action.
Yeah.
Very dynamic pose.
Yeah. It's a very good picture. And there's a bunch of rusted armor, so I don't know what happened to that.
Well, let's get a nice hole on this guy's chest.
Obviously not magic armor, as we talked about last week.
That's true.
I think if you look at all the various parts of skeletons around, that the former owners probably wished they had upgraded.
Yes, they wish they had magic armor. These guys are all look coordinated, except for the guy with the flail getting about to be killed. The rest have coordinating armor, so they're part of a group, boy band.
He's the henchman.
Yeah, you go up first. Hit him with that flail.
Oh, yes, boss. Yes, boss.
Go climb to the top of that treasure and give it a little kick. We'll be down here.
But yeah, fun. Anything else to say about said cover?
No, it's a good cover.
No, good cover.
I do
Good
like
cover.
the action in it. I really do think if this guy should make it, someone should talk to him about letting go.
Maybe he had it grafted to his hand.
Just let it go, man.
This is old nimble fingers over here. They used to call him because he'd drop his weapon all the time, so they glued it to glued it to his glove. Now they regret that decision. He's like a bald guy named Curly. Anyways, Jack, what is your
What?
first article?
Oh, we're still doing this, are we? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
We're not just talking about the cover this time.
Let's go down to page 40, please.
Thank God this one isn't broken, so I can actually. Hey, this is mine, bastard.
Thank God it's yours. The Vicarious Parcipitator.
I have a lot to say about this one.
Okay, well then we'll double team this one. We'll
Yes,
turn
I
this
did-
one
I
into
did I did not do this one.
make this one airtight. So I'll start, and then
Okay.
at some point you can high five me, and then we'll complete the Eiffel Tower.
Pulsifer,
Yes, Louis Pulsifer, a old standby.
our
He's,
arch nemesis.
pretty prolific, and I like his work. The
We always make fun of his work, Jack. We never like Pulsifer stuff.
Stop it.
How dare you? Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so it's Colin take the middle ground in role playing, and he discusses power gaming because of the roots of the game being a kind of a tactical simulator rather than role playing, and what must now be the scourge that is people who are there because they're a theater kid and have no intentions of playing the game, and through lack of a better term, he's coined this phrase that you could have anything else would have made the article more attractive to someone scrolling through, but b something that might have caught on in time.
I do have a question since you're a professional typesetter in your past. Why is Vicarious Precipitator not participator, not capitalized. That really kind of annoys me on the title.
Yeah, I would think so. At the very least, you would.
Right, because it's the, so they should both be capitalized.
Everything
Yeah.
should be. It's a title. It's the title of an article. It shouldn't, unless he was
Well,
going to be like continue it into the article. It should be capitalized.
not even if it's
For multiple reasons, both of those should be capitalized.
Thank you. And yeah, not to mention they're a noun. They're a. It's supposed to be someone. Anyways,
Yes.
Jack, go on. I was just annoyed by that.
No, no. So I think I laid the groundwork. This is a discussion about finding the middle ground between the two, the role playing above all else, and the power gamer that's there to grind levels through dungeons. And a little wordy, but I agree with everything Lewis says.
Are you nuts? How dare you agree with anything this guy says? He's an idiot.
What?
Would you like me to get into this?
Apparently, we're no longer an Eiffel Tower.
All I have to say is, his
You've
idea,
you've torn my heart asunder.
his idea of being a middle ground, yeah, sure, that's a good idea. It should be a middle ground. But his idea of a middle ground is acting like yourself. Not taking on a character, just be yourself. Doesn't matter what your intelligence score is. You have to act like yourself. You act against you can't act if you have intelligence of 3, doesn't matter. You should be all solving puzzles and shit. It's not right. It's wrong. You shouldn't be acting like yourself. You should at least take on the character and act like your stats at least.
yes.
Yeah, he says it's foolish to create a personality that isn't your own. Come on.
His rationale was it's easier to role play if the person has a basis.
He doesn't say it's easier. He says you have to do that because if you don't, it's impossible to act like somebody else. Is pretty much his saying. He says he can't imagine creating a personality different from your own. Like he's got so little imagination. He also says that people who are heavy role players don't care if a character dies because it wasn't them in the first place, which is insane. That makes no sense. And believe me, I played a bunch of characters that weren't me, that didn't act like me at all, and I was upset when they died. And yeah, the low intelligence thing really annoyed me. He says if you're low intelligent, you should act how you would act, not how your low intelligence character would act. What's the point of having ability scores then?
If you're not going to
there's a thing to
again,
say
yes.
like you shouldn't be able to role play. Maybe if you're not a very good role player, obviously it's going to be hard for you to role play weird intelligence or weird other things, charisma, especially. Obviously Pulsifer doesn't have much of that. But
intelligence or charisma, which
either
are you implying?
Yeah, he misses kind of the point of creating a character to play entirely. Like it's like I want to play myself. Well, that's fine if you want to do that, but that's not how people should play. That isn't the third alternative to being a min-maxer or a total role player. That's not the third alternative. That's a way of playing. That's not a third alternative.
Yes, I will go so far as to say, as a middle ground, he lacks the imagination that he thinks that you have to be a trained stage performer.
Yeah.
You have to be a literal Charles Dance in order to role
Charles
play.
Dance again.
when
yeah, of course you don't want to be over the top, but also you can't be too. Like a lot of people make fun of Critical Role for being over the top, but you don't have to be that far. But at least play your character. That's it.
Yes.
Yes, and I think in time he must have went. Oh, people are more capable of doing.
Just because he isn't, he just can't imagine someone else could do that.
He was short-sighted in that regard, and I believe his table probably didn't have the right combination of people that allowed for.
Well, I'm also curious if his idea of like high role playing people or isn't what we think of high role playing people. It's probably someone who just like, well, his whole thing is I don't like it when people say my character's going to do this instead of I'm going to do this. It's like, what? Who cares? It's crazy. He's a crazy person.
I've known people who at the table wanted you to use the other characters' names and stuff so you could keep track.
Yeah.
And so it seemed, and to say, instead of saying, I'm going to or yes, it's a very small thing. Again, I believe in time, Mr. Pulsifer, his eyes must have been opened to the
I,
possibilities of actual.
I think he's rolling over in his grave thinking about Critical Role. Imagine those guys. That would blow his mind. He'd be like, I don't understand. My brain cannot process.
Every Thursday
My
night,
intelligence
I'm
of
looking at
3.
this. I'm streaming this to a small box on my desk.
Well, that's beyond the point. Just them playing.
Oh.
He also in the end he's really attacking role players a lot, but in the end he just goes off on one against min maxers and says they're immature and only want to smash stuff. It's like we've known quite a few min maxers. It's not like that. Like some people just like the idea of strategy and to play strategically. It's not about just I'm so stupid I have to smash, you know.
And there's a place for both kinds of people as long as everyone at the table gets along. I can understand if you're doing a dungeon and you're looking at the clock and you got to work tomorrow and people stop in the middle of a dungeon crawl and have to talk about, I'm going to discuss with so and so about this. Okay,
well, we did play it. Jack and I did play a steampunk game at a convention once, and the DM was a lady who was really into steampunk.
Loved the steampunk,
and she was like
that was her persona.
God. Yeah, and her and another guy there was into it too. But there's 3 of us who weren't, and they didn't want any of our shit.
No.
It was if you didn't talk the right way, she ignored you pretty much. And
you have to speak like you're a Victorian?
Yeah, like it was crazy. But that's the other. I can see if that's what Pulsifer's talking about. Yes, okay, I understand. But I don't think so. I think his idea is like if someone, creates a character that isn't them. Like, oh, I'm gonna play a girl. Oh my God, my head blew up.
And I don't want to alarm you, but I had an audience, so I was going off.
Yeah,
Rob.
I gave up halfway through. Yeah.
And one of the guys also was like looking over us having so much fun that he
joined in.
He joined in. Yeah.
Well, it got to the point where I'm like, okay, how can I break this game? Like, my character's really strong. I'm just gonna start smashing stuff.
Yeah, so we've all been there with
overly role play,
too crunchy, people who are over dramatic, and a nice middle ground. So like Rob said, this was a good article by Louis Pulsifer,
our arch nemesis Pulsifer, who knows you know nothing, Louis.
Hit the nail right on the head. So that was
Louis can lose. That's all I'm saying.
Pulsifer Louis can lose.
That's right. that's
a good reference for.
Pat's just like, why am I hanging out with these guys?
We want to make Ferris Bueller, but we can't because that movie's huge. But people would, we'd have to pay for the license. Well,
we can make it with a different character. Anyways, Pat.
Name's Parker Lewis for anyone.
Who's in charge of this show?
You.
And who's in charge of this show? And whose article was that? We've lost it.
That was your article. Pat, what is your first article? The first article, that's a series.
Page 14.
Oh, Jesus. We're going to go run long on this one.
This is a Landrag Guns.
Dragons?
Well, no, it's a Landrag Guns, because it's on 2 pages. You got to scroll.
Mine says Landrago.
Yes. Well, it's a Landrag, kind of like half an O. Yeah.
Yes. So this is exactly what it says, Landragons. I think it's a very
on the
nice
tin.
alternative. It's a nice couple alternative Draconi that don't fly but have breath weapons.
He's a poet.
Want more dragons? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of them look really cool and some of them are crazy. Like the scintillating dragon.
Yeah, he has scintillating conversation. He's a he's a good conversationalist.
The scintillating dragon sees humans as a good source of protein as well as a threat to his own existence. So not only do you make me hungry, I feel like you threaten me, so I'm going to exterminate.
Yeah,
I like the artwork for it. I probably wouldn't have been as invested if I hadn't scrolled down and seen a almost full page, pretty well done, like
crazy dragon,
inspired the imagination picture.
No wing. He's got wings, but they're little wings.
Yeah, I mean. In the beginning of the article, they say most of them do have, but they're all stunted wings.
Oh. So they're mutants.
Yes, they're deviants.
Anyways, yeah. Anything else to say about your winged dragons?
Nah, these wingless, please. Wingless.
Oh, sorry. They know they have wings. They're just
Our
land
good
pigeons.
friend Ed adds an extra dragon called the
Electrum, which makes
the
a.
Electrum.
Why was there never Electrum Dragon? That doesn't make sense. There was every other type of piece of money.
It's true.
Is because
You could tell me
Electrum is.
what-
I think Electrum
Yeah.
isn't in nature. Isn't it
It's an
silver and
alloy.
gold or something together?
It would be an alloy, yes.
It is an alloy of some sort.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for me.
Like totally?
No.
Oh, okay. My first article will be on page 484, I believe.
484.
Yeah, pretty much, because it's all about computers. I have nothing to really say about this because this is a whole stupid thing about computers. And it's a lot of like how to program computers and a lot of like actual programming. I just wanted to scroll down all the way down. Like, it goes on forever. There's actual sheets of paper to program, and it just keeps going. Go, scroll, until you actually get to there's something called the computer. Yeah, it might actually be at the very end of the magazine, now I think about it.
Yes, it's at the very
Yeah.
If
And the computer, the combat computer, reminds me a lot of Clicky Tech, and I was curious if you think this is where Clicky Tech came from, because it looks just like WizKid's Click Tech, like clicks as it's called with an X. It's got the exact same
frame
thing.
of reference.
It looks just like it, even with the colors and everything. It looks just like it, just a larger
Oh,
scale.
is that what that dial was? I couldn't
Yeah.
figure out what that was.
It's a combat dial of some sort to overcomplicate doing combat by making
It's
a computer.
Yeah, it's two different articles, Rob's kind of mulched in together. One was a
Well, it was all about computers and yeah,
yes,
it was all
a
together.
script
That's
that
why.
you could write in on your computer that did certain things for you. Like it was like the personal DM. The other was a computer in this, dial rotating. It looks like something if you wanted to play your video game in the 80s, you had to get this out of the manual and do this so that
And figure out what the password was. If you wanted to play the Pool of Radiance on your Commodore 64.
Yeah, this wasn't a copied version that you actually were able to log in.
Yeah, but it's really, you put the two pieces together, you spin it around, and different numbers appear in the blocks, and that, like I say, is just like clicks.
Rice round, baby, rice round.
But more singing. But when I tried to read about how to use this thing, it was as awful as I've ever seen anything. It said, okay, well, your AC is this, but it'll tell you your AC is this plus this, which is this. But that, and I was like, you couldn't have made it.
Why would you make something that's not complicated more complicated?
And
Again.
it was a piss poor. Like, it was worse than just not doing it at all. Like,
Someone wanted to get rid of dice again.
No, you just don't need dice. This tells you what you have to roll. Like it's telling you what like different modifiers are on all the different things compared to your armor class, and what if you're a fighter or a cleric or thief or magic user or monster. It's just crazy.
But if you want to get rid of dice, is there something? Have they made something that you'd be able to use that hasn't?
We're not there yet. We're not at ads yet.
It's called the dice wand.
Anyways, so the computer is stupid and it's clicky tech. We're back to Jack. Jack, do you have another article?
Yes, 28.
Oh, that's one of mine.
Yeah, it's got
Bullet. I knew Jack would choose bullets because he loves them.
Again, I'm not a fan of the ecology format. I prefer just a factual. But this here land shark, I believe, is one of the creatures that was just invented because I think it was maybe a Korean or Chinese toy manufacturer had made baby little trinkets that would go into bubble gum.
I think it was actually based on one of Godzilla's enemies. What's his name? Anyways,
Gamera.
I don't think it's Gamera, but it's one of those ones. Anyways, so that's where
Mothra.
It's definitely not Mothra. It's
I'm getting farther away.
The Boule is definitely based on that. Yes.
Yes. So, anyways, it's an ecology once again from another magazine.
And why do they call it the Boule and not land shark? That's my curious.
I don't know. That is something that I'm sure has been covered somewhere on a Wikipedia or something.
Look it up. Tell us in the comments, please.
Like,
Yes.
hey, it looks like a bullet. Well, bullets haven't been invented yet. It looks. What's French for bullet?
Yeah, I don't
I
even know what
don't know.
Bullet.
belay means. I don't even know if it
Bullet.
means what it means. Yeah. And it looks weird in this picture because that's not how I picture it. Usually you can see his legs. This is it's just
His legs are tucked underneath him,
yeah,
so I think he swims through the.
like a shark with a little fin at the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Burning, burning,
Yeah,
burning,
for some
burning.
reason it makes that noise every time he goes through dirt.
Ta-da! And the
Uh,
camera pans in, and it's Schneider looking out at the water.
we're gonna need a bigger belay.
We're gonna need a bigger distrader.
But it was actually Rob Schneider,
Mm.
and it's a farcical
Wasn't he in the? Wasn't Roger
early
Schneider in the one of the D&D
There's
movies?
never- Rob
early
Schneider?
2000s, late 90s spoof movies.
I think he might be. Anyways, anything else to say about the boulet, the bullet?
No, I
or
mean
land
this is
shark?
again another Bard article, and then these are becoming the staple in Dragon magazines.
Yeah, I don't know
Bard articles.
why these are getting put in here. It seems odd that they're just throwing in a page from another magazine.
But I think, again, it's not my preferred way to digest information about possible monsters I'd want to put in my campaign. But as a little bit of fiction, you get a little taste of fiction, but also learn a little. I can see why people would think that that's the new
Yeah.
hotness.
I don't like learning.
I don't mind it.
Pat, I
And
think it's your
mine's
turn.
just right.
There you go. Pat, what would you like to go to next?
All right. Well, this would be my last article since Jack took my third one.
What a jerk.
Page 20.
At least it wasn't my last article.
Oh
Seven
God, that
swords.
The Seven Swords of a Seven Swords.
This
Seven
was pretty
swords for seven
crazy.
brides.
He definitely
This was
goes on forever about this.
He does, but I thought it was still a nice article because it's just an article about seven magical swords in
And
Forgotten Realms.
half of them are cursed.
Yeah. And so these are like seven blades that you can find in the Forgotten Realms. You can come across them. You can. It's just like putting seven Excaliburs or Stormbringers in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, it is good, useful if you want to sprinkle some real high end stuff into your game.
if someone's memorized the Dungeon Master's Guide, all the items in there when you roll up for your treasure, and you think little sousson, a little spice it up just a little bit. Hey, what's this? Got this nice. They all have these very intricate, detailed descriptions, so you could give it to the guy and you go, oh, what's this?
I do like the fact they're all different kinds of swords. Like one's a scimitar, one's a cutlass, one's a gladius.
Yeah, it's cool. I always like the idea of that's what Dragon Magazine does best is adding things to the game like this, magic items, character classes, this kind of stuff. That's why I think it's the best at. And this was one of the. I don't think we've really had a magic weapon article before like this, which is cool.
Not
this.
seven of them.
Yeah, not this in depth. I think we've had some other
And
stuff.
it's Ed Greenwood, so
It's quality. That spells quality.
Yep.
It's true.
I think it might be my last article. Let me just make sure. It is my last article, and that is going to be on page 52, I believe. And good old Pulsifer again. A player character and his money, and it's are soon divided. Yeah, so it's a whole Pulsifer writes a whole article about how to get rid of PC lose their hordes of money, but we already had this way back.
Like he wrote an article like this before.
I don't think he wrote it, but it was early on, and because Pulsifer's first article I remember him was that demon one. Remember, we made fun of him for being called Pulsifer. That's why we. Anyways, but they should have just reprinted the better version because this isn't very good, and it kind of rehashes the other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it harkens back to when there's an adversarial DM versus players, getting one over on them. And I think taking away people's money for the sake of taking their money is pretty, off-putting.
Dickish
Yes.
is the great word.
But now we've done recently. The Lewis Pulsifer. I don't know if you want to go back and discuss that one about. But this is another success. I agree with everything he says. Rob,
Jack, you're just pushing buttons at this point. But it's not even what he wrote. It's that it's already been done. Better.
yes, and some of the stuff was like, oh, that's interesting how you could do this, but then it gets to, oh yeah, a thief could come and take it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, giving someone the incentive to keep playing by saying, oh, a keep, you could buy a keep, you could do this. I think having the kingdom you're in change monetary standards so you have is useless, is worthless, is really awful. And there's like his heart's in the right place on some things, and other ways it's just like, oh my god, I couldn't imagine dealing with this guy.
No. He annoys me to no end. So screw you, Pulsifer. I have no more articles. Jack, do you have any more articles?
I wonder if Lewis Pulsifer, clearly he's passed on at this point.
Obviously.
That is the
way of things.
The way of things. But imagine if he was watching this and maybe feels a little embarrassed.
A single tear runs down his old withered eye.
He's
his
like,
milky old eye.
Yep, his shriveled apple head.
all his past transgressions laid bare because he wrote it in a magazine.
Have we decided?
That's right.
Have we found out if he's still alive?
And
he's dead. Jack just said he's dead.
The Grim Reaper standing over him with a hand on his shoulder, going, "This is why you're going where you're going."
I don't think Lewis Pulsifer is famous enough to get a Wikipedia entry, but
and he resigned, to the fact that yes, he was not deserving of anything other than probably like where they put murderers, and the ring of hell where they put murderers, and I don't know.
I think he's still alive.
Outlaws.
I hope it's not this teacher.
Yeah, it is. He's still alive. He's 72 years old.
So he is an old, wrinkled old man. Screw you, Pulsifer.
If we see you, if the three of us are walking down the street,
he lives real close to you guys. He lives in Detroit.
No, that's not that close.
Oh, that's not that close.
It's close enough for him to come over there with a bat.
I could break his old man legs.
Yes, and as an American, I don't think he even has a passport, so good luck.
It's Canada, though. It's like going into Kansas. You don't need a passport.
Used to be. I remember in my teenage years, we would just bop over. Not anymore. Thanks, Saudis.
It makes sense. He's a teacher now, so that makes sense why he's a douche.
Well, you've always said second in line behind lawyers against the wall would be teachers, so
it's pretty much true.
Yeah.
Okay. Jack, did you have any more articles? I think that's what I asked you before.
No, I am tapped out on articles.
I got some ads, so we got some ads. Anybody got ads? Jack, you got an ad?
I got a few ads.
Jack's first.
Okay, I'm first. Dibs. I call dibs.
What's your first
shotgun?
What's your first ad, Jacques?
We're gonna go to page 21 for what I can only call nightmare fuel.
It's just kids' faces are nightmare fuel, or the thing in the window.
Everyone just put your hands on the screen and cover up the monster that's in the background.
I just scrolled down so you can't see it. Yep.
Look at that. What kind of alternate reality, if in Twilight Zone they would have prosthetic makeup and then the person would come out of their horrible car accident and they would look normal?
Have you ever seen the live action Garbage Pail Kids movie where it's all animatronics?
Yes.
That's what these guys look like.
It does. He does look like.
This looks like what Stranger Things based itself on.
I'm Pamphlet Pam. Well, I'm
Dice rolling
Plaid Paul.
I'm Date Rape Paul and
Dice rolling Jimmy. You don't see Paul's hands. That's all I'm saying.
It has to be alliteration because that's what the Garbage Pail Kids did. So that would be Dice Dan.
Dice rolling Dan.
So, anyways, it's for Star Frontiers. It's probably the most off-putting thing I've seen in a long time. And you're right. I don't. No one had coined the phrase "uncanny valley" yet, but the most realistic-looking thing in there is the alien.
I was
That's
going to say
creeping
the
up
alien
on
looks
them.
great,
Yeah.
but
So,
yeah, that
yeah,
pizza doesn't
that's
look appetizing. That's all I'm saying.
No, it looks horrible.
no. And who takes the cardboard from your Delicio and just throw it on the table after you've?
Delicio.
What the hell's Delicio? Is that a Canadian brand?
Oh, maybe
It's not
it's frozen
DiGiorno,
pizza. It's frozen pizza,
it's
anyways.
Delicio. That's their catchphrase.
It's it's just frozen pizza, and it always comes on. It's in like a plastic wrap with a piece of cardboard underneath that you put in the oven. But yeah, I guess this person just throws that greasy piece of cardboard on their table.
Now, I've been a bachelor. I did slide the pizza out of the oven back onto that cardboard and use that as a plate because I was going to eat the entire pizza. Let's not. But if
Well, I mean, I've always used the cardboard to put the pizza in the oven and to pull it out.
Yeah,
And then
well,
I cut it
that's
on
what it's
the
for.
cardboard. That's
Yeah.
about it.
yes,
But you don't put it on your
Never-
tablecloth.
But
I
never,
wouldn't throw it on the
never
table.
did I serve it up as like a serving platter.
Anyways,
And I believe they're contacting poison control. That's not a part of the game. That pamphlet is actually why are we all going into anaphylactic shock?
yeah, why are our
Because look at
faces
their faces.
puffing up and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Ugh.
we allergic to mushrooms? Oh my god. What do we do?
stop rolling those goddamn dice? We're dying here. He's drinking some kind of solution to try to make him feel better.
Just doing shots of milk.
Patrick, what's your first ad?
I will say that before we move on from this, this is drawn by our good friend Mike Easley, I think.
It is. It's his name's right on
He
there.
should retire.
Yeah, pimping ain't easily. It's right there.
I think the problem is he doesn't know how to draw children. He's
Mm.
probably great at dragons, not so great at children. I said, the
believe-
alien looks awesome.
I believe Owen Wilson there is not a child. I believe that is supposed to be an adult.
I think he's just I'm disturbed, anyways. Jack.
Let's move on from date rape Joe.
I can't stop looking at him.
No.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Page 7.
Yeah, that was one of mine.
7. Okay, good.
Classic. They saw how
Classic.
popular
Top Secret was
and they're like, let's actually market it.
exactly Victory Games got the license for James Bond and was able to get it out there.
I believe I had this game, but I never played it, I don't think.
We never played James Bond because we always had Top Secret.
Well, you have to break it out because I believe this cover looks like it was done by Folio.
Yeah, it does actually. Now you say that, like him being better. Yeah,
Like him with a
realistic
certain-
style. Yeah.
but it's got some hallmarks of
Yeah.
his that
Now you say that, I kind of believe it.
I that was my impression when I saw the ad.
It's a classic
I-
James
it-
Bond. He's very
if the-
short. If she stood up, he'd be like 3 feet tall.
Yes.
But yeah, James Bond. This game goes for quite a long time, and it's pretty popular. It's coming this fall to a store near you, and it's gonna be available at major summer cons.
At the
Oh,
con.
You get a free poster with it too. Yeah, that was one of mine for sure. Victory Games. Whatever happened to Victory Games? Probably bought by Hasbro, like everybody
Well,
else.
Victory Games was a subsidiary of Avalon Hill, so
It wasn't. So it was bought by Hasbro. I was right.
yeah.
Where all good things go to die.
That's right. Hey, Hasbro is a great company. I own stock.
Is that one of our sponsors?
No, I own stock in Hasbro.
Yeah, no, our ad breaks. I apologize. The Play-Doh Fun Factory is a magnificent toy for all the girls and the boys.
And Hasbro did not screw up Wizards of the Coast because they were already screwed up before Hasbro bought them. So there you go. My first ad is going to be on page 39. My only ad.
Oh, that was my other ad.
Judge Dredd. Plays for
I
keeps.
wonder if us pretending to sell out would be any less palatable as if anyone gave us anything what we
I'd
just
sell it in a
pretended to
second.
do right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hasbro.
I
If you
would
really
take-
want to give, I am a shareholder,
no.
so you probably should give me something.
No, I would be calling you daddy and doing terrible unsanitary
Oh yeah,
things.
we
I'm
we,
just
we
saying,
would
we
shill
were pretending-
5e. It would not be a
Oh.
question. If all of a sudden the show changes, you'll know why.
Yeah, I
We love GW and 5e. It's our favorite things.
I would we were pretending there for the sake of comedy, but I'm also saying that I'm a small, weak man.
Who has needs.
who, yes, has many needs, and the milkmaid she services some of them, but I need my papes.
Anyways,
Anyways.
Judge Dredd. This is confusing me because it's Judge Dredd, but it's a White Dwarf magazine, Judge Dredd. Speaking of GW, actually, and there's spray paint everywhere, so I can't actually read what it says at the bottom. But I can't tell if it's the role-playing game, some kind of miniature game. I don't know what this is. Pat, do you have any clue what this is?
I think this is the role-playing game.
But why is it White Dwarf magazine? That's the confusing thing to me.
Well,
I think it started in White Dwarf magazine.
Did who made Mongoose made maybe that was later, but they did the Judge Dredd role playing game. But maybe this is like a non-official. It must be official of some sort. They got like all the stuff on here.
Judge Dredd, the role-playing game, was published by Games Workshop in
Oh, was
85.
it? Oh, was it originally? Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
There you go. So it must have been just introduced in White Dwarf.
Yeah.
So there you go. I never knew there was a Judge Dredd role playing game before the Mongoose one. So now I've learned
Yeah, no, I
something
knew
new
Games
myself.
Workshop had it for a while.
I didn't know that.
That's why
I didn't know that.
Bolt Thrower did some Anthrax songs.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
But Judge Dredd, favorite of probably all of us. I think we all appreciate the Judge, and it's neat to see him in this magazine. So
I underappreciated him up until he came to life when Stallone really solidified him as an icon.
I am the law.
let me take my helmet off, and I have a twin brother who doesn't look anything like me. Anyways, Carl Urban. He's supposedly doing a new Judge Dredd. Let's hope it happens.
Carl Urban couldn't do no wrong, as far as I'm concerned. He was the best bones outside of the original DeForest Kelly. He was Judge Dredd. Lita Headley was amazing in that movie. I wish that would have.
Let's not forget he's also in The Boys as the boy.
Yes.
Anyways, that's my last ad. Anybody else? Any got any other ads?
I have one last ad.
Jack, you're out.
I'm tapped.
Page 73.
73. Oh, it's all the ads, all in one page.
All the ads, but the one that I have is right in the middle. Wheat cents. WTF is a wheat cent.
50 different. Roll of
You
50.
get $3 per roll, or you get 2 rolls for $5.
Roll of 50 different in good condition.
Wheat cents.
What the hell's a wheat cent?
Now
That
we
you
gotta look this
buy-
up. What the hell is a wheat cent?
From Penny Promotions. That is new to me. I will feign ignorance because my job on this podcast is entertainment, and I will pretend to be many things.
Do you know what a wheat cent is?
I don't know what a wheat cent is.
A
I don't
wheat
know
cent
what a wheat
is a
cent is.
type of penny. It must be a certain penny. I don't know why it's called a wheat cent.
Well, why is it in under the gamer's guide?
It's
Yeah, what?
Oh, because it's called a wheat cent because there's 2 stalks of wheat on this penny, so it must be a collectible penny.
But once again, why is it in the gamer's guide?
I think they were like,
hoping-
gamers are geeks. They collect stupid things like coins, so let's put it in the ad. Well,
But if you can buy them for $3 for
2 rolls.
per roll or 2 for $5, it can't be.
A
that
roll
much
of penny
collector's
is
item.
50 cents. A roll of penny is 50 cents. So you're paying $3 for a 50-cent roll.
Yeah, but we're talking about like a collector. Like if you were a
Well, obviously it's for kids. Like it can't be. I wonder if they're worth anything. I don't even know if they're worth anything.
Yeah, I just
It might be one of those
saw-
scams, right?
I was looking through these ads and I was like, wheat cent. What the hell's a wheat cent? And why am I paying
Oh,
$3
it's
a roll?
the value of a wheat cent is 1 penny. So yeah, it's a scam. That's what it is. Someone's selling supposedly rare cents for a lot more than they're worth. So that's what this is.
Well, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Right there in the middle of it.
So this penny promotion sounds like a coin seller who just rips people off. That's what it sounds like to me.
And it's in the suburb just up the road here.
Well, that makes sense. Pat, was this you as a child?
No, because I didn't live in.
Are you trying to sell your wheat cents that you bought from this guy?
That's true.
Well, I
spent $5 and I got 2 rolls.
Yeah,
it's
a bargain.
Before this episode goes live, I've just purchased the Wheat Cent NFT, so that this is going to blow up. I'll be wealthy.
That's what it is. Exactly.
So,
it's the same thing.
That is my last ad.
That's a good one.
Because we were confused. I had to look it up. I had no idea what a wheat cent was.
I skimmed through that whole page because obviously I
it's the first time we've had this like a ads page, which is like classic in the Dragons I remember. Always had this.
Yeah,
multiple pages of this. So,
but it didn't have a wheat cent ad, and I was like, "What the hell's a wheat cent?"
I didn't even think about it. I was just whatever. Yeah, it didn't even have the boner on here. The bone thing.
It got me.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So before we go, though.
Yes.
And we're talking about James Bond.
Yes, we did.
Would the illustrations be the guy who did the cover? Or
I would assume
designs?
So. One or the other, but neither of them is Phil Folio.
No, because it doesn't say who did the cover though. It just says it says illustrations and it says graphic design.
But was that the cover of the game, or was that just an ad? Someone hired an artist to make an ad.
It looks like it's the cover of the game.
Oh, okay.
It's the cover of the rule book, because I'm looking at the PDF.
So maybe there's some similarities in, especially the woman's eyes and like the glints. Folio did like this thing with chromes that to this day I can remember. So on the gun and stuff, like there's just some things I was like, oh, that looks like it got some hallmarks, but could be someone else.
It says James Talbot was the illustrations and graphic design was Ted Kohler.
It's funny though. I looked it up. Phil Folio and James Bond. A lot of people think this is Phil Folio did that ad. So
it's a Phil Folio.
But clone. I don't think it's true. Yeah, I don't. I think it's just people. They're like, hey.
Well, no, because I just looked at the cover.
So somebody said it looks like the woman's face reminds me of Phil Folio. So that's
100%. Her eyes in particular.
Jack just said it.
Well, somebody on the internet also said it. Jack is not the only person who thought this was a Folio piece. So that's interesting. It's people had the same feeling as Jack. It's untrue. This is not Phil Folio.
I am the everyman. I think that's my job on this show, is to be the everyman. Everyone sees kind of everything through my eyes, and the two of you,
poo-poo it.
Yes.
Thank you for being on the show
in your own way.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for being on the show, Jack.
Yes, Jack.
You're welcome, and I thank you, the two of you.
Oh, thank you, Pat, for staying awake. It's a bonus. The dragon's burning his hair as he sleeps. This has been issue 74 of Dragon Magazine. We'll be back for issue 75 next week. We'll be back from our sojourn to Adepticon, so it should be fun.
Yeah.
Until then, like, share, subscribe. Do comment. We love the comments. And let us know what you think Phil Folio drew that sentence. Hard speak.
The conspiracy is real.
Having stroke.
I did. I started the words in the wrong order, so that's what happened. Word salad.
He ate the cardboard pizza. Now he too is having anaphylactic shock.
My face. Jack, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodnight.
Good night.
And adieu. We'll be back. Bye-bye.